Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. I want to welcome everybody who's joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom, and welcome everybody here in the room. We have a treat this morning. We have a young man who has pipes. Evan Steele is our guest musician, and I'm looking very forward to his offering of music. So we're going to start off with Evan in our first two songs. Here we go.
All right, thank you, Rafe, and thanks for everyone for being here and everyone joining us online. I'm very excited and very grateful to be here and to have this opportunity to share my gifts with all of you. So I'll be playing all original songs, and the songs at the end will have a little opportunity for participation. But for now, just sit back and enjoy. This first song is titled The Light of the World, and it's about having faith in yourself and faith in a higher power, and it goes out to anyone going through hard times, and enjoy. I'll be the light when it's getting dim. I'll be the fire when it starts to snow. I'll be the ground when you're feeling tired of it all. I'll be the place that you call home. I'll hold your heart like it is holy. song is it's called "Seeds for the World," and it's written about all the things that are going on at this time with climate change and all the uncertainty for this planet and for future of humanity. So it deals with the challenges and also the faith that it'll all be alright. I love the world, I don't wanna hurt it.
Thank you, Evan Steele. So my name is Reverend Rafe Ellis, and I am honored and privileged to be the senior minister here at Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. I want to welcome again anybody who joined us while we were singing. One moved my heart because I'm really glad to know this person is still up and around and alive. So you know who you are. I want to welcome everybody who joined us on YouTube and Zoom and Facebook while we were singing. And it is my privilege to remind us of who we are and share with our guests who we are and what we're about. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the very diversity of creation. We strive to live authentic spiritual lives through a practical application of the teachings of science of mind. We engage in sacred practices that uplift our spirits, deepen our awareness, and ignite our soul's self-expression. We demonstrate active compassion to ourselves, to each other, and the world. We experience meaningful contribution through giving generously of our time, talents, and treasures, and we intentionally promote our community and our teachings. And so if you have your phone handy or you're joining us on live stream, you can immediately participate in sharing this community with other folks by sharing the live stream from the Sierra Center page onto your page. One of the other things that we do every Sunday morning is our inclusion candle lighting ritual. With a temperamental lighter.
Worked for you.
There we go. I have the magic thumb. We light these candles to celebrate the unity of all peoples, all faiths, all beings, all life. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for Taoism, honoring the path of ultimate reality, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the middle way and path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the teachings of Jesus as the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought teachings, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles of love and law. We light the 10th candle for absolute inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome and celebrated here. And we light this final candle, honoring the infinity of oneness as all creation, seen and unseen. And so we're working on adding in this little thing called the golden nuggets to engage you in more participation should you choose to do that. And so what we know is that we're all here by divine appointment. Something brought us here this morning, this thing called choice, and choice is our divine creative essence doing its thing. And so I'm going to invite you to pay attention throughout the service, throughout this next time together, whether it's the music, the message, the energy of the person sitting next to you, or something that you can't even pinpoint in the room. And what is your golden nugget that you're picking up for today? And toward the end of the service, after my talk, we're going to make space for anyone who wants to share their golden nugget to do so. It'll be a brief time, but we're going to do that. All right. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Evan for our next song. Here we go.
All right. Well, in this chaotic time, I was looking for someone to guide me, and it dawned on me that some of the greatest teachers are animals. And so this song is called Animal Disciple, and it's about honoring all life forms and learning from the simplicity of being alive. I get a lot of me from you. How you live your life is the way that I do. I get a lot of me from you. How you live your life is the way that I do. Last night, before I fell asleep, there was a noise outside. I heard a presence creep. I opened up my door. There to my eyes I see a family of four, all with little heartbeats. Animal, some feel strange 'cause you seem more human. Animal, thank you for teaching, thank you for being. Animal, you walk with God, you ain't no nuisance. Animal, thank you for seeing me, thank you for freeing me. I get a lot of me from you. How you live your life is the way that I do. I get a lot of me from you. How you live your life is the way that I do. I talk with cousins, they tell me their stories. They all go on journeys, they all feel the glory of living with others and loving. The more we embrace every creature, the more we'll recover. The life we know is here and present. Celebrate the daily lessons. Sing and dance with the moon and the sun. Oh, this land was made to be loved. This land was made to be loved. And so I will live each day and love each creature. Lions, tigers, bears are teachers. Mama Gaia has given us leaders. Let us follow them. Let us follow them. So I walked with bare feet and I saw with eagle eyes. Mother Earth, my heartbeat, Great Spirit in my mind. Eternal the moment, holy the day. Baptized in the ocean, sunlight upon the waves.
I wish wish you guys could each watch his mama watching him. What an amazing expression of love. Oh my God. Thank you for birthing such an amazing human being. So this is our time of announcements. This is primarily for you folks on live stream. We're here, we're open, and we have a communication system in place because we all still have different comfort zones around the divine idea in the mind of God called COVID. So if you're still wanting folks to stay 6 feet away from you and not make physical contact, you can wear a red strand of beads, and that communicates that. If you're not sure, you're figuring it out one person at a time, and you want people to check in with you before they get too close or reach out to touch you, you can wear a yellow strand, and that communicates that. If you're good with close proximity, handshakes, and even hugs, you can wear a green strand of beads. If you want to establish a comfort zone around you, you can grab one of the "Please do not sit on this seat" signs, put one on either side of you, and that will establish that. This just allows us to not have the same conversation over and over and over again, and it's just a really cool way to communicate. We do ask that if you have anything possibly on planet Earth contagious, stay home and enjoy us on live stream. If, after you've been here, you find out within the week prior that you were exposed to someone that has COVID, please give me a call so that we can communicate that to the folks that are here. We do not communicate your name. Now, I got a phone call last week that somebody was aware of somebody in the community that did have COVID, and that was being talked about. Here's the thing. You get to tell anybody you want, right? So in that particular case, the person that had COVID was the one sharing their identity, not us. So please know that it's your business. You get to share it with whoever you want, but we will not do that. Okay, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Walking with the Rev. This has turned out to be a really fun practice. We have some amazing conversations. Last week, I'm pretty sure we solved all the problems of the world in 4 days. Now, if we can just remember what we said. That happens at the North Star Mine Museum. It's the Wolf Creek Trail, but we meet at the North Star Mine Museum parking lot at the corner of Freeman Lane and Allison Ranch Road. We start walking at 9 o'clock. We walk for 30 minutes in one direction, and then we turn around and walk back from whence we came so that we land at our vehicles. We go as fast as the slowest person in the group. So if you are one of those people in my category that's the slowest person in the group, feel free to show up. Mondays. Monday, we have a Manifestation Mondays Mastery Group. So if you are in any way challenged with manifesting the life that you want, this is the group for you. We dive into really taking apart how manifestation works, and a lot of what we do is surfacing the hidden beliefs that are in our way. And we kind of really need each other to do that, because by nature, hidden beliefs are those beliefs we're unaware of. So it's kind of hard for us to identify our own hidden beliefs, but yet it's pretty amazing how quickly someone else can hear them in what we share, because it's not their stuff. So if you're interested in that, that is on Mondays from 5:30 to 6:30. We do ask for a $20 donation, and no one is turned away. So if you don't have it, come and we'll help you learn how to manifest that. Practical application of spiritual principles, also known as how do I apply spiritual principle to this? Because in everyday life, things come up that challenge us on how to apply spiritual principle to that. And so this happens on Thursday night from 5:30 to 6:30. It happens every Thursday night except the fourth Thursday, because we have our board meeting on the fourth Thursday, and I have not figured out how to be in two places at once yet, but I'm working on it. First Friday Fun, September 2nd. We will be watching the movie Woman in Gold. If you're not familiar with that movie, it is based on the true story of Maria Altmann, an Austrian Jewish woman who escaped the Nazis and found a home in the United States. 60 years later, she attempted to reclaim her family's art and possession from the German government. It's an amazing journey. The flashbacks in the movie are palpable, and I promise you, you will feel a full range of emotions watching this, and there is victory in this movie. I think for me, the most poignant thing is this is in our lifetime. It's easy to think about this stuff as ancient history, but this is in our lifetime. If you want to bring your dinner, we invite you to do that. We'll have some tables set up. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and there will be popcorn. Deborah has reassured me that she is continuing her role as the hostess with the mostest, and she will be serving you popcorn individually. She will bring it to you because it lights her up, so she's going to be doing that. So please consider joining us for that. Okay. So this is our time of inward shift, and I'm going to yield the lectern to Reverend Madeline Wade.
Until you turn the other switch on. I'm all switched on. Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's magical. So this morning, our community value is community. So this morning, of course, I'm driving here, and I'm hearing about the communities of the animals. And then I hear about the animals again. So I'm going to talk about the animals. They were talking about how the beavers dam the rivers and the streams so that other animals can drink. They were talking about how the wolves are integral to the community. I was thinking about how we put a little fountain of water in our backyard. And you know how many squirrels I've caught drinking out of that water? I'm watching them. I can see them. And when they see me, they run away. But they still come back because there is nourishment there. So being in community, being of service in the world, it's like the spirals I decided to wear in my earrings. There's a spiral. Everything you do impacts somebody, something. Your presence, your walking on this earth is part of the divine community. And each and every one of us have a role to play. And our role to play may be smiling at somebody, winking at somebody, laughing at something they said, or crying with them. That's all part of divine community. And that's one of the reasons I'm breathing. So thank you. Oh, yes. So I'm going to switch the order up a little bit because I am challenged in other ways. So what I'd like to do is do the 3 ohms in preparation for our meditation. Then I will ring the bowl. So if you'd like to join me in the ohms. That would be lovely. Ready? Hmm. I open up. I see the infinite expanse of the universe. I feel the infinite expanse of the universe. I hear it. I open up to that divine source, that one source, that one creator. And I know that the magnificence of that one creator is evident in each and every one of us, as we are truly one with the divine creator. And with every breath I take, I affirm and know that I and all are one. So from this ground of being, this ground of loving existence, I embrace that knowing. And I know that each and every step that I take, and so many other beloveds take on this earth, is life affirming. We are walking forward. We are walking in grace and love and light. And I know and accept that each and every step is divinely guided, and that there is deep trust and faith that unfolds. It's like a magic carpet. I'm flying, and as I take the next step, it unrolls a little more, and then the next one. So it's always unrolling. There is magic. There is that divine inspiration. There is yet to be revealed miracles. So I know and accept that all of this is true. And I also know and accept that each and every one of us walks in grace. We are healthy, wealthy, and wise. Divine health. Health for our planet, health for all of us, because we truly are one. So with amazing gratitude and acceptance of unexpected pleasures and treasures for each and every one of us, I say yes to this divine affirmative prayer, this treatment. And I know that the divine creative process is always unfolding in the affirmative. It is done. It is complete. So with conviction, love, grace, deep thanksgiving, and that serendipity of you never know, I let these words go. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. So I'd like to share our affirmation together. But first I'll read it, and then I'll tell all of you it. Except that I can't read it on the screen because there's there's something in my way. Okay, thank you. Okay, here's what it is. I am of the divine being. My true nature is divine. Let's repeat that together. I am of the divine being. My true nature is divine. And so it is. Thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful segue. My next song is about seeing the divine in each other. And one word that I use for that is angel. I believe that when we're walking with the divine, we are all angels in each other's lives. I believe in good things. I believe in you and me. I believe in angels. I see them everywhere I go. May not make sense to you. Wouldn't make sense anyway. This is what I do. Open my heart to you.
Let's take a breath together. Actually, I don't need anything that's there right now. Naturally divine. I think this is probably the richest area for us to explore, because most of us, self included, get really distracted in the distortion of what is our nature. How many of you have thought or heard someone else say, or even said yourself, when something comes up in your life that doesn't exactly resonate, we default to, well, that's just my nature. Anybody else, human nature? There's no such thing as human nature. There is human conditioning. But our only true nature is divinity. And divinity, I default to, I believe it was Thomas Troward who originally said it, and then Ernest Holmes repeated it. Principle is not bound by precedent. Right? Principle, unchanging truth, is not bound by precedent. And I had an awareness this morning that everything I experience in this human realm immediately becomes precedent. Immediately. Right? Because everything I just said up until now is now in the past. That's the precedent. That my whole human experience, other than this moment, is one of precedent. So it can't be bound, the essence of me cannot be bound by that. And when we think about this idea of human nature, what we're really talking about is generational human precedent. Generational human thought, patterns that most of us fall into living, and it's those places within us that we have no idea where it came from, right? We just have a way of moving about the world because it's always been this way, right? It was that way when we were physically born. We were raised with it, and no one told us this isn't how it has to be. No one told us, as they were educating us, that everything you think right now is subject to revision, especially what you think you know about the truth. Everything is up for revision. And in fact, in our divine nature, which is creation, which is a continuous thing. See, creation doesn't happen and then stop, and then happen and then stop. Creation started, and it's been continuous ever since. In the eternality of life, think about it. If creation stopped, then what? Right? We are the activity of creation. There's no stopping in it. If we get that, then we understand that we are continuously evolving. That as individualized, divine ideas, divine smiles, I love to think of it that way, that we are each a divine smile in the heart of creation to experience itself as each of us. That's how it expands its experience of itself. That's how vital you are to the whole. Everything you think, every breath you take, every move you make, every decision. And here's where the paradox comes. We analyze and scrutinize and judge and condemn and every once in a while celebrate our decisions. in the human realm. The divine just celebrates. There's no condemnation in what created us. It quite literally, as I understand it and have experienced it, divinity doesn't care what we do. It doesn't care. It doesn't have a checklist. Unlike many of us were taught, can you imagine the volumes of, what's the plan for Rafe's life? Let me communicate this to Rafe, please, immediately. Thank you. No. We are it in form. And so its desire is us. And when we become in alignment with that, we don't have to ask somebody else what our role is on planet Earth. We don't have to search outside of ourselves to learn to hear that still small voice that we call it, that is the desire of creation wanting to create as you. There is a paradox that we live with, right? Because we have a brain that sees everything in this human realm as very finite, very defined, very categorized, very final. It's where our humanity finds its comfort zone, right? We work really hard to get to this place, and now that I'm here, don't mess with it. That's not creation. Creation is continuous evolution. There is no stopping point. There is no arrival point. There is just continuous creation. And it makes our humanness really uncomfortable because our brain tells us there's a stopping point. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we get okay with, dare I say it, living in the mystery? Right? It's interesting. Whether it's accurate or not, I have no way of knowing. But what I know is that a whole lot of us here on planet Earth have been and continue to be praying for the healing of planet Earth. We've been praying to have changes in our social structure. We've been praying for the consciousness of humanity to shift. And then along comes this little invisible to the naked eye. It's not invisible under a microscope, but it's invisible to the naked eye, this little red ball that has mushrooms on it called COVID. And what happened? Mother Nature sent us all to our rooms, and the earth instantly started healing itself. Smog in the LA basin was gone for a period of time. Suddenly, the orange sky wasn't orange for a while. We could hear all the sounds of nature differently than we heard them before because they weren't obscured by all the activity of humanity. Right? We all learned things about our spouses, those of us that were quarantining with a spouse. We all learned things about our spouses. They were like, really? Didn't know that was there. And things on both sides of the spectrum, the magnificent and the not so much magnificent. Right? We learned things about ourselves. And COVID invited us to do exactly what we say we do in this teaching, and that's to live squarely in the mystery. Because all of a sudden, most of what we thought was predictable, not so much. Not so much. So then what do? Well, we have some choices. We can choose to use all of our human effort to reclaim the past, to go backwards, to reinvent what most of us can admittedly look at and go, it didn't work anyway, right? But it was comfortable. We were comfortable in our not workingness. Or we can stand in a different place of courage. We can stand in this magnificent place of, I don't know. 3 of the most powerful words I have ever strung together. I don't know. Why is that so powerful? Because the minute I allow that in, I become teachable. See, if I think I know, then I'm not going to hear those divine nudges that pull me forward. Not going to hear them because I'm not listening for that. I'm not listening for a greater expression of the divinity that was born in me. Because I know what I'm supposed to be. Here's what I know. I know that all of God is right where you are, is right where I am. Every ounce of it. And yet, individualized, I will never be all of God. I will never be all of divinity. But all of it is right here. And all of it is right there. And all of it is right there. Our community value this morning was community. Imagine the power of Centers for Spiritual Living if first we each, as individualized expressions of divinity, own our divinity, own the mystery of our creative expression, stop arguing for our limitations, and start living in our infinite possibilities until, and here's the thing, I invite you to try it for 5 years. Try it for 5 years. If it doesn't work, I promise I will gladly refund your misery. Right? Ernest Holmes, at the end of Science of Mind, says, in conclusion, I would rather someone, and this is not a direct quote, he would rather see those of us who believe these teachings prove them in our lives than to repeat everything that's ever been said by the great masters. Are we willing to do the neck up, do the study, do the inquiry, and then let it drop into your heart? Make it real. Claim your natural divinity, because it's not some big elusive thing. Each and every one of us is creation in form. That's what we are. We are the perfection of whatever this is that creates. And I notice that I look up, that's just pure conditioning from being raised Pentecostal holiness, that it's up there, right? It's also right here. It's right here. It's everywhere present. And what if we really lean into that every person, every being, every object that we interact with, we interacted with it from a conscious, intentional awareness that we are interacting with divinity. Because if divinity is all there is and it's everywhere present, can it be different than that? There's nothing else to interact with, in no matter what form it is. I promise you, it will change how you see the world. It will change how you see yourself. It will change how you converse with one another. It will change. Yeah, you really want me to say that? Okay. It will change your politics. Because you'll see, in politics, just to be clear, Politics is nothing more than a system of policies that govern people. It's not a party. We've turned it into parties. We've turned it into polarization. But politics is just the policies that you support that govern humanity. And when we live in alignment with the truth of our being, what we support in this human realm changes. It just does. You might find yourself being far more moderate than liberal or progressive or conservative. You might. Because what if we all meet in the middle? What if we all listen to what's underneath the conversation? What if we meet each other in our divinity, naturally, effortlessly? There's no room for polarization in that. There's no room for othering in that. There's no room for oppression or discrimination or hate in that. And so I invite you this next week. Be conscious. Be intentional. Be aware. Allow yourself to actually have the thought, I am interacting with my divinity. I am interacting with divinity with every breath. Spend a week there and then come back and tell me how it went next week. So I know we're running late, and some volume of my shouldapedia tells me that's a problem, but oh well. You all know I was raised Pentecostal holiness, so if we're out of here before dinner, we're good. So, I'm going to ask Rev Madeline to turn on that mic, and I'm going to invite you, if any of you cares to share what golden nugget is alive in you this minute.
I think the golden nugget I will take is that there is no human nature, but just human condition, because our nature is divine.
Awesome. Thank you, Judy.
For me, heaven was a pleasant surprise. I love your music and the words that come from your heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm realizing again and again that I have experiences that lock in my beliefs. And when I turn to the divinity, it opens up and releases those and let me see things differently. And that has helped me tremendously.
Nice. Thank you, Mark.
Well, during the meditation, I felt the divine come and give me a big hug.
Nice. Remind me of your name? Pat. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you for helping me with spiritual drive.
Thank you. Remind me of your name again?
I'm Van with a
Van.
V and
Thank
two,
you, Van.
two N's. You have to stretch that out a little bit. Van.
Okay, thank you, Van. Who else?
I'm left with the thought that because of the nature of divinity, I have hope for the world.
Ah, thank you. And your name again? Jean. I'm still learning some of you new folks. Thank you, Jean. Who else? Anybody else? All right. I like this new practice. Gives me some goosebumps. All right, let's take another breath together. I'm going to invite Evan back up as we shift into our time of conscious giving. I'm going to invite us, as soon as I turn the projector back on, there we go, to say our prosperity affirmation together. Here we go. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Please receive the gifts.
So this song is titled The Love of God, and it's actually inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. He inspired the very first song that I wrote, and it has been an inspiration since. And I want to bring in his concept of beloved community, right? When we're recognizing the divinity in everyone, then we all become beloved community. Oh, praise the day. All my troubles fade away when I wake up to your love. Oh, praise the night. All my dreams, they take flight when I close
divinity as you is quite amazing. Thank you. So I invite you to go within. Know with me that there is only one infinite, ever-present allness, one divinity. It is the nature of all creation, all form, all function, all experience. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming that each of us opens to a new experience of the divinity of creation in form. A new experience of divinity in this physical realm. A new experience of our divine individualized self. I speak a word of gratitude knowing that it's true. Knowing that just as quickly as it's spoken, it's done. I speak a word of gratitude for divinity as money, which blesses and sustains and allows this community to grow and to continue to evolve in its expression of divinity as its divine idea in the mind of the infinite. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Grateful for each giver, knowing that as we give, we receive, and so it's already been multiplied. Already there. Grateful, grateful, grateful. So I invite you to join me as we say together, and so it is. If you have any doubt, I love my job. So this is our time of gratitude. Thank you, Jill Wiggins and Carl Wiggins, for our beautiful orchid. Thank you, Jill, for being our greeter. Thank you, Judy, for doing our PowerPoint. Thank you, Gary, for being on our live stream. Thank you, Evan, for being here and sharing the brilliance of you with us. My heart is full. I could have just listened to you all day and not talked at all. I'd have been good with that. Thank you, each of you, for being here. And thank you on the live stream for joining us. So I'm going to invite you to stand and let's do our benediction. And I invite you to say this morning from a different perspective, that it is divinity claiming itself. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It is this thing called divinity. It is this thing called love. It is this thing called life. I know it. I feel it. I sense it. Why? Because I am it. And so it is. One last song, Mr. Evan.
All right. So I'd love some participation on this song. Is everyone up for that?
Yes.
Cool. And I promise to make it really easy. There are no words. It is simply humming. So if you can approximate a melody, that's what makes a chorus, all the harmonization. So don't worry about any mistakes, and just embrace the sacredness of sound. So
before you get started, my apologies, beloved. I totally forgot to thank you. Thank you, Rev. Madeline, for being our practitioner this morning.
All right, so this is the chorus part, and I'll do it first, and then practice. Can we try that? second chorus is, we'll do it 2 times in a row.